What is going on, guys? I am back finally. It's been a little bit of a break, a little hiatus, but I am back and I am happy to be back. We got a lot of catching up to do, got a lot of important things to go over today. We got rookie training camp, we got Matthew Judon talks, and we got to talk about a certain receiver who is on the potential trade block. I'm sure you all know who I'm talking about. Let's get into it. Alright, well, I wanted to start off with what is going on right now. It is day one of veterans reporting to training camp, but the rookies have been there since last week. And there's a lot of names that aren't getting recognized, and a lot of people you should keep your eyes open for. Once people are able to go to training camp and start watching, I plan on being there. Look out for these players. Now, everyone knows, let's see how Drake May does. He's our future, obviously. Yep. But who I want to focus on are people that were towards the back of our draft and undrafted. I'm not going through all of them, but these are the people I think have potential to really make an impact in preseason and maybe on our practice squad or even our actual roster this season. First up is cornerback out of South Carolina, our 6th round pick, Marcellus Dial. Now, if you go and look at the depth chart right now for the Patriots, of course, you have Christian Gonzalez coming back from injury, going to be a big year for him. And you've also got veteran Jonathan Jones. Now, those two are solidified in the starting lineup. But what about that third corner position? Well, Marcellus Dial is going to have a chance to compete for it. He's going against Alex Austin, who turned in a great end of the year last year, kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't know who he was really, and he performed. So some tough competition there. You also got Shaun Wade, who this is probably his final straw. He's either going to perform and do really well and compete for a position, or he's getting cut. I think he's one or the other. They're not going to waste a roster spot on Shaun Wade. Given that he's been here for 3 years now, I want to say, or this is going to be his 3rd year. And then you got Marcus Jones, who I don't see as an outside corner. He kind of played there a little bit when he was healthy, but the guy's like 5'8", 190, so not ideal. He's a complete athlete. I love the player, but Marcellus Dial is going to have a real chance to compete here for that CB3 position. His film didn't strike me fancy, but he'll be interesting to see. Obviously, the coaches seem to be high on him, which means a lot more than me, what I think of him. So keep an eye out for him. Next up is our other 6th round draft pick, quarterback Joe Milton, who very ironically, we picked with the draft pick we got from the Mac Jones trade. So replace Mac Jones with Joe Milton, per se. I just love this storyline that the media is giving us of, do you go with Joe Milton for 3rd string or do you go with Bailey Zappi? I gotta say, if Joe Milton can figure it out, he's got all the natural talent in the world to not only be a serviceable backup, but maybe even a starter if he reaches his ceiling. Guy's got a cannon of an arm. At the end of the day, I think the Patriots go with Zappi. He's got more experience. And say Jacoby Brissett gets hurt, do you want to risk putting Drake May in there, or do you go with the other 3rd string quarterback? I guess they would be 2nd string technically, but you're left with Bailey Zappi or Joe Milton. If the Patriots are confident they can put Drake May in, and if, God forbid, Jacoby gets hurt, then I say you take a risk on Joe Milton, see what he's got. if they are trying to keep Drake out as long as possible until they know 110% that he is ready, this position is going to go to Bailey Zappi. But it's still going to be fun to watch Joe Milton. He has a lot of potential. He's going to ball out in the preseason, I think, make a lot of flashy plays, but it comes down to his fundamentals. Can he make the checkdowns, the smart decisions? Does he know what the defense is giving him? That's going to be interesting to watch. Nonetheless, a flashy player that you should keep your eyes open for. Now to the undrafted free agents. First off is tight end Jacob Warren out of Tennessee. The guy is a behemoth of a human. He's 6'6", 250. And not only that is he a very smart, intelligent man. Earned his bachelor's, earned his graduate's degree at Tennessee while he was playing there. This guy is basically Pharaoh Brown-esque. He is a jump ball threat with his size. He caught 4 touchdowns last year, but only 17 catches total. And he's going to be used a lot in the run game. His father was an offensive lineman at Tennessee, so it's in his blood. He loves to block, which is going to be very useful for this team because Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper are not normal blocking tight ends. That's not what they're known for. They're more receiving tight ends. He will be competing with Wilcox for that third string tight end spot. I don't think they're going to carry 4 tight ends. Wilcox was on the Bengals last year and did get some decent playing time. I don't know too much about his game, but I think he is more of a receiving tight end than blocking. So keep your eye out for Jacob Warren, tight end from Tennessee. It's going to be tough to miss him. He's a big kid. Next up is Zuri Henry, tackle out of University of Texas, El Paso. Again, big kid, 6'6", 310. Obviously, when it comes to tackles, you're looking for that type of size. He has some versatility, which is what I think the Patriots like most about him. He's started at both right tackle and left tackle throughout his college career. Last year, started 11 games at left tackle. And the Patriots also a sign that they really think he can contribute to the team, not only in the preseason, but in the regular season. They gave him a $10,000 signing bonus with $35,000 guaranteed. Now, I know that's like little pebbles in football money. But normally, undrafted free agents will get around $5,000 as a signing bonus, and that's the only guaranteed money. Patriots went the extra step and doubled the $5,000 signing bonus and guaranteed another $25,000 more. So I think this kid will at least stay on the practice squad. They'll see what he can develop into. If he does show out, though, he could earn himself a spot on that 53-man roster. Another kid to look out for, cornerback Caleb Ford Dement. He's out of Texas State. And he's not the biggest kid, but he is very fun to watch. He's 5'11", 180. He ran a 4.49 40-yard dash time. And I think I could see him competing with Azizi Hearn and Isaiah Bolden for that last cornerback spot. Isaiah Bolden is a special teams guy, so we'll see what Ford Dement can give them on special teams. And Azizi Hearn picked him up last year, didn't really do too much for the Patriots. They could go with the younger player here in Ford Dement if they think he has some potential. I could see it happening. We'll see, but keep your eye out for Ford Dement. And lastly, it's safety Del Pettis. He's out of Troy, and this guy, please go watch his film. Listen, there's a reason he was an undrafted free agent, but there's a reason the Patriots took a chance on the kid. He's 5'11", 200. He ran a 4.5 40. So not spectacular numbers there that are going to blow you away. His measurables are underwhelming, honestly, but again, go watch the film. This guy made 61 consecutive starts in college. So he's got actually just as much experience as anyone else coming into this year. Last year, he had accumulated over 3,000 snaps by the end of the year, which was fifth most for active players in college football last year. So a lot of experience. Again, he's probably not going to have to develop too much because of all that experience before he can contribute to a team. In the Sun Belt Championship game, he had 11 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. It was his best game all year in the championship game. So the guy shows up when you need him the most. Again, please watch his film. It is a lot of fun. Again, there's a reason he went undrafted, but there's a reason that he is currently getting a chance to make the roster for the Patriots. As for everyone else, the veterans reported today. They're just doing meetings. Gerard Mayo had a press conference this morning, and he said they are moving back the training camp schedule for practice to start at 11 instead of 9:30 like Belichick had been doing for so long, so they can get meetings in the morning, more time to talk about stuff, and then bring it onto the field. So tomorrow, first training camp practice. It'll be interesting. Just keep out for those names that I listed and stay up to date with everyone else that's going to be there. Everyone reported. I don't know if everyone is going to practice. I'm assuming Godshaw and Judon, in their contract situations, will not be actively participating in practice, but will maybe show face there. And that leads me into my next topic, Matthew Judon. Very interesting topic. After all the extensions that Elliott Wolf has been passing out this year, it's like Oprah Winfrey, you get an extension, you get an extension, you get an extension, and Judon is just sitting in the back of the crowd. He got nothing tossed to him. And the debate is, does he deserve it or not? Well, yesterday he retweeted a trade proposal that had him getting traded to the 49ers for Brandon Aiyuk, and it's a little sketchy. I think he's trying to get leverage in the situation. He's getting impatient, and he's giving the Patriots an ultimatum, sort of. It's, listen, you pay me or you trade me. I'm not playing under my current contract. And I don't blame the guy. When he is healthy, he has earned the money, every penny of it. He's been a great player for us the past couple of seasons. But he's 32 years old. He's 32 years old, or he will be in August. On the contrary, his contract, he's not even a top 15 edge rusher based on his salary this upcoming season. I think he's looking for a raise this year that gets him into the top 10 of edge rushers, which you're looking at like doubling his salary basically. And then he's probably looking for another year or two extension. And when you're 32 years old coming off a major injury, that's a big risk. And the Patriots, where they are right now, their position, their process in rebuilding the team, do they want to have that money tied up to Judon? They could. They very well could. But what if Judon isn't the same player as he used to be? What if he is just a waste of money? So that's something Wolf has to leverage in his head. Then begs the question, well, what if Elliott wants to get rid of Judon? What is his trade value? Well, Hassan Reddick just got traded for a third rounder last year, and I think he's 30 years old. Yeah, Reddick is 30 years old. Gives you about the same production as Judon, maybe a little bit better, but he's also 2 years younger. Then you have Montez Sweat, who's around late 20s, 27, 28, hasn't like his accolades aren't up there with Judon, but at this point in their careers, I would say Sweat is probably the better edge rusher than Judon. He just got traded to the Bears for a second, and they paid him a bag. So it's all contingent on certain situations, but Judon is going to be 32 at the beginning of the NFL season, and I don't know how much you're getting for him. You're not getting a second. Maybe if you're lucky, you get a third. Or if you package a 5th or 6th round pick with Judon, you get a third. But I'm thinking, in my opinion, he's going to go for a 4th round pick. So weigh your options there. Would you want Judon with all the money, which you can't afford, by the way? We all know this. You can afford to pay him. Or would you want the 4th round pick? Or you can trade him, which I would love to do for, drumroll, Brandon Aiyuk, receiver from the 49ers that has been probably the biggest headline all offseason. Why should the Patriots trade for him? Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious. You need to be living under a rock. We have a bottom 5, which I think is generous to say, wide receiver group, or we did last year. Drake May, do you want to play him this year? Do you want him to go out there and have weapons to throw to? Well, listen, I love Kendrick Bourne, but he's no number 1 wide receiver. Drake, if he wants to go out there and succeed and build that confidence that Mac Jones failed to build, he's going to need an actual legitimate number 1 receiver. Brandon Aiyuk can be that legitimate number 1 receiver, that X receiver that everyone kills for nowadays in the NFL. Why won't the Patriots trade for him? Well, they offered a 2nd round pick, as it was reported a couple days ago, before the draft for Aiyuk, for which the 49ers turned down. But they went ahead and drafted Jalen Polk afterwards, the Patriots did. So my thought behind that is, listen, we're either going to use this pick to trade for a wide receiver, or we're going to use this pick to draft a wide receiver. I don't know if the Patriots are willing to make that same trade now that they have drafted Polk. Now, would it improve their team? 100%. Yes, obviously trading for Brandon Aiyuk would improve your team. Another guy that they drafted this year, Javon Baker, is going to be an X-receiver, just like Brandon Aiyuk is. So maybe if they like what they see out of Javon Baker, if he keeps his mouth shut enough, guy loves to talk, maybe they don't trade for Aiyuk. Maybe they're less inclined. They believe in Baker's ability, and they think that Aiyuk being here would hinder Baker's ability to succeed. So maybe they wait to see what they have with Javon Baker in camp. Again, I would make this trade in a heartbeat, trading Judon for Aiyuk with picks involved. But if you do see the Patriots sign Judon to an extension, then it's a lot less likely we trade for Aiyuk, I believe. They're not going to want to give up the draft capital that the 49ers are asking for. I think Judon would have to be included in the trade. And just the fact that we're spending money on Judon, we're going to be less inclined to also give money to Aiyuk. It's still possible, but it's just less likely, in my opinion. Now, why would the 49ers, on the other hand, trade for Aiyuk? Well, they just spent their 31st overall pick on a wide receiver, being Ricky Pearsall out of Florida. Could he play with Aiyuk? Yeah, 100%. But that's a little weird to me that they just drafted a wide receiver in the 1st round, and they also re-signed Juwan Jennings. They also have Deebo Samuel to a massive contract. So, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. They got to make some decisions here. On top of that, listen to this free agent list that they have coming up in 2025. John Feliciano, Aaron Banks, Taluna Hafanga, Javarius Ward, Ambry Thomas, Rock Ya-Sin, Dre Greenlaw, and Devondre Campbell. Listen, that's not obviously all of them, but that's about 7-8 starters right there that you have up for free agency next year. The 49ers have spent so much cash on their star players. There's no way they can afford to pay all of these players and give Aiyuk the $28-30 million a year that he wants. Listen, salary cap is not as simple as it seems. There's ways around it, but not when you have all these players. Most importantly, guess who's knocking on the door looking for an extension for the 49ers? Brock Purdy. Now, Brock could easily go somewhere else, get $45-50 million a year. If he was the most generous player in the NFL, he would probably take a pay cut and get like $30-35 million a year from the 49ers. At that rate, they wouldn't be able to afford Aiyuk and pay all these other guys anyways. They'd have to cut ties somewhere. It's not possible to keep all these players asking for all that money. The one thing is, they could also do is, well, play Aiyuk this year, maybe give him a little bit of a raise so he'll actually step on the field, and you take one last shot at winning the Super Bowl, and then you just blow it up. You let it all go. That's it. But as far as the Patriots are concerned, they need to call up San Francisco, see what the deal is, and go get Brandon Aiyuk. We need that true number one wide receiver we haven't had since, I don't know, Randy Moss, if you want to go that far back. This is the time to execute. You have the cap space to do it. You got plenty of money. You just extended all the players you wanted to, Elliott. Go get your number one wide receiver, Brandon Aiyuk. That's all I've got for this week. It's been a pleasure getting back in front of the camera and talking to you. Until next time, please like, comment, subscribe. Leave a hate comment. Dislike the video. I don't care. Engage with it, please. I love to hear from you guys, whether it's positive or negative. I'd love to engage with you. Please do that, and I will see you next week.